Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode here of the Highland Scotties Teambuilder Dynasty here on College Football 25, and we're back here with the Highland Scotties Sports Talk here, and of course we're in our bye week and had a really crazy first 6 weeks of the season as the last game, of course, last episode you've seen, we played against Kansas, and I don't know what Coach Bonds was thinking. Okay, here's at least talking to Coach Bonds, he said that he was one who challenged the Kansas Jayhawks there, and he kind of, he was trying to call their bluff, and they called it, and they, of course, forced us to go the extra to overtime, getting that deep toss, the Hail Mary there. And of course, Of course, we were able to get ourselves out of it, but he says that it was communication issues, but also too he was wanting to push the team to do a lot more in that situation there. So that's pretty much what he said in the most recent press conference about it. But as for the team, you see there a little over 1,000 yards for the season for our quarterback, and of course we. Singer and Robinson both are two different kinds of quarterbacks there. Obviously, running game's doing a great job there. Avery, over 1,000 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns for him. Bo, as well, over getting close. He could actually have 1,000 yards in the next game. But also, what's really nice, both our halfbacks don't have fumbles. They're playing really well right now. And so we got to see if we can keep that going here for them. Of course, there you see Nick has a rushing touchdown of his own there, the fullback there for us. Who's our running game has been just bonkers, just been great. I love it. Receiving could use a little help, of course. With the interceptions we've been having here, and of course the bad passing and whatnot. I think our receivers would be. I think our receivers would be closer, a little over 500 yards for the season, maybe close to 1,000 yards. But for right now. Finley has the most receiving yards there for us. Most touchdowns there is Good, who has 409 yards passing. He's been a great job there, and I really feel like we need to make him wide receiver number 1 here going on in the near future. Parks, he's not living up to what I thought he would be. He's been struggling quite a bit there. He's been covered pretty well in a lot of games there, and then the times when he is not covered. We throw a deep pass there and it just sails right over him, or he'll drop it, or whatever the case may be. So we'll have to see if we can make some adjustments there going on for the rest of the season. Take a look at our blocking. I think for the most part here, I'm really proud of what our guys are doing right now on the field. They're playing very well. We're 6-0, looking very strong here. Of course, with the wins, that's going to help us even more so when it comes to recruiting. And recruiting, we've got a pretty good handle on a lot of recruits that we've been looking for. A lot of them, of course, are 3-star athletes. But I think with a good win here this upcoming season here, the next couple games here, we can win some games. I think we'll start solidifying a lot of those recruits. Now, Tariq Barr, of course, he's up for the Heisman along with Bolden, who's also up for the Heisman for a defensive player. And this is the first time we've really had in this series, if I could be standing corrected, but it's been a while since we've had a defensive player go up for the Heisman here. So both Bolden and Barr are doing a great job there. Tackles for loss, they're both in the 30s there. They're almost got double digits in sacks, as well as they got 2 interceptions apiece for each of them. So that's really nice to see. I think Bolden, I can see him ending this season maybe with 15 sacks, because right now he has 9. Barr's right behind him with 7.5 sacks. I can see him ending in double digits as well. One of our edge rushers there, Wolfork, he's doing a great job there on that right side. I've been kind of thinking about bouncing over to the left side, see what he can do on that side as well, and some different and a couple of other defensive schemes there for us. But like I said, for the most part, I think everybody's doing a very good job. I think our only weakness right now is our offensive line and our especially when it comes to pass blocking, and of course our quarterback. And of course, if we if we have if our offensive line is giving us problems for our quarterback not throwing the ball very well, it's really it's in the trenches. We got to work on that. So that's something we're going to be working on when it comes to recruiting. We got a couple players I have in mind right now that we're looking at for next season, and hopefully we can lock it down with those players that we are looking at for that. Because without a good offensive line, especially a good passing protective offensive line, our quarterback we have the best quarterback in the nation, and without a good solid offensive line, he can't do much if anything. So we got to make sure that it's something that we need to work on in the future. We've had the same problem before, if you guys remember in the original series there on NCAA 14, that we just really did not have any good linemen until towards the latter part of the series. So kind of have to go back to that again here and try to figure out who really kind of weed out the guys that are not, they're giving up too many sacks. They're letting, just causing problems on the line there, penalties, all that kind of stuff. We got to kind of like, okay, either shape up or you're going to get shipped out. So here's our like I mentioned before, our Heisman Trophy race right now. Of course, Julius Bolden's there at the top of the list there. He's the junior. He is the number 1 right now. Will Howard is number 2 for Ohio State. Barr is number 3 there for us. And of course, Cameron Rising for Utah. And of course, Dylan Gilbert at number 5 there for Oregon. So three of the 5 are defensive linebackers, which is really nice. We have not seen that for quite some time. Usually the Heisman Trophy is always usually an offensive or defensive, offensive player mainly. Usually it's a halfback or a quarterback. Very seldom it's a wide receiver or any other defensive player or any other offensive player. Defensively, we haven't seen I think the last one we had defensively was probably Charles Woodson, which was back in when I was in junior high school. But junior high I think it was. So yeah, it's been a long time ago. That shows my age right there. Anyway, the top 25 there you see. We are not yet in the top 25 there, but you see some newcomers there. But we do get a couple of votes there for. We do receive a couple of votes there. 123 of those votes there as well for us. So we're hoping after this bye week here, we get our next game, which will be against BYU, which we'll talk about a little bit here before the video ends. We're hoping if we get a victory over them, then we got a chance to, of course, get ourselves in the top 25. There you see the conference standings right here. You guys, of course, pause the video, check it out, see where your favorite team's at right now. And for the most part here, there are some kind of shakeups here. You got Nebraska, Michigan at the top of the Big Ten here. Ohio State kind of slipping down some. They're 2-0. Of course, this is based off conference wins, not overall wins. So right now, of course, Ohio State has not played that many conference games, but I mean, it's really kind of seeing a little bit of a shakeup here, and hopefully we'll see more of that coming up here the course of the season. Me personally, I've always been a fan of seeing these small teams beat up the big dogs and top of the list, beat the Ohio States and Michigans like that, because it just gives it more. To me, it's more fun seeing those teams in that situation there and see how if they can bounce back, get themselves back, bounce themselves out of it, or get themselves, or they end up just continue going downward and the opposite. And of course, teams like here in the MAC are playing very well right now. They all at least got one win underneath them, a victory in their conference. They beat up each other quite often. And then you see the Mountain West. I know somebody in a video, someone was asking me if we were going to change the conferences. At some point, somewhere in the near future, we will change the conference. I know there's a conference realignment coming up again, especially with the Pac-12, because they look like they're going to absorb a lot of the Mountain West teams. So in the future here in this series, I don't know if it's going to be next season, but somewhere down the line, we are going to do a conference realignment. I mean, even think about bringing back divisions as well. So that is something I'm thinking about really doing. But I'm trying to figure out how we can balance those divisions out. And I'm also thinking about taking some teams Me personally, I just don't think fit in the SEC or don't fit in the Pac-12 or in the in the Big Ten there. So, but again, that's further down the line. I would say that's probably closer to like season 5, season 6. We'll start making those changes there. And of course, there you see the Sun Belt. We got Appalachian State coming up here actually pretty soon. I think 3 games from now. That's gonna be really fun to see how they do. Currently, right now, they are 2-4 overall. They're in the Sun Belt East, and then you see the Sun Belt West. Some of those. So hopefully, your favorite team is doing well. Like I said, it's been kind of fun seeing some of the scores from these different squads there that are just like, wow, this is crazy. It's nothing like their real life counterparts. But as you see here in the Big 12, of course, we're in first place right now, 6-0 in conference. That's all we've been playing right now, conference games. We're starting to play our non-conference here towards the latter part of the season. Arizona right behind there as well. They're 2-0 in conference. They're 6-0 overall. Both teams are on a 6-game winning streak for themselves. Iowa State is on a 5-game winning streak. BYU is on a 5-game winning streak. Wow. And of course, Utah is on a 4-game winning streak. And then Kansas, there you see they're 3-3. Of course, again, that was just a bad play call for me personally. Kind of getting out of character again. That was just a bad call there. I don't know what I was thinking on that part there, but it is what it is. We got out of there with a victory. So we'll just leave it at that. All right, so take a look at the bottom of the Big 12 there. You see West Virginia and Baylor, who are already played already. And, of course, they're going to try to find their way back to the top of that Big 12 there. So still got a lot of games to play, and, not everything's solid just yet. But I'm sure a lot of teams are going to be getting themselves ready to go here, because a lot of teams already took their bye week, and they're getting ready kind of for the second half of the regular season, and try to get themselves in a playoff position, or at least a decent bowl position. There you see we got Larry Barnes there. We're looking at, he's one of our top recruits there. He's one of the linemen I was talking about earlier. He's a 5-star lineman, and it looks like we might have to do a little more hard work there trying to get him. McBurrows is a guy that I think we got close to signing. Darnell's got close to signing. Trout is also close to signing. He's our left tackle there that we're looking at as well. Witherspoon is another player that we're looking at, that we're talking to. So, and a lot of these guys got some, they're not maybe the best of the best when it comes to, they're not like, Gyms, they're not blue chippers or anything like that, but they are guys that are decent players there that I think will do some work for us to be some depth there. Slater is obviously, he's a 3-star guy. He's a gym type of player. So we're looking at him. Marvin Angel, he is another player that we're getting closer and closer week to week of signing. And then, of course, Jay Mayo, another one there. So we got a lot of guys that are in our top. We're in their top 3. A lot of them are their number one school, or we're their number one school. So we just got to keep kind of working with them. Obviously, win games. And of course, as soon as they're asking for a visit, we got to get them signed to a visit. I think we have one player I think is coming to our BYU game. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. No, maybe it's the James Madison game they're coming to. JMU, I think they're coming to that game. We got a lot of players coming to that game for sure. I want to say we have one coming to the BYU game, but I could be wrong. But yeah, we got a lot of players here getting ready for some visits here. But yeah, we just gotta play. We gotta play. We gotta win. We gotta try to win games. We gotta try to convince them, and hopefully we can snipe some of these guys towards the last here in the next couple of weeks here, and kind of change the momentum. Try to steal them away from teams like Miami and Michigan and all those kind of states. It can be tough, but it can be done. I've seen it done before. Take a look here at the Week 7 teams here, and these are kind of the matchups that are currently going on. One thing I wish they could, next year, maybe in next year's game they could change it, but I wish we can go back to how we used to be, and you can watch some of these games. Some of these games I wouldn't mind just sitting back and just watching and seeing how they play out. You know, and of course that's nice footage for me, for bonus footage there. Of course, that's good enough for me to scout. That's how I usually do some of my games. I scout some of these teams that we're playing and see what they're doing and who's the key players they're focusing on and all that kind of stuff, so I can game plan around that. But also too, I kind of like watching it, seeing the CPU versus CPU, because usually there's some pretty good games that come out of it. We've seen it before. I've done it before in the previous series there on the NCAA Football 14. You guys really enjoyed it and really look forward to those. But unfortunately this year in this game you can't do that. So hopefully in the future, EA, hello, let us be able to either play these games or to not necessarily play them, but let us just be able just to sit back and watch, do a CPU versus CPU sim. I don't know why they took it away from us this year. Hopefully in the future they'll bring that back, because I enjoy watching sometimes. Just put in the game while I'm editing or something, record something or just sit there and just watch a game and just see how it plays out and stuff. At Stanford, Notre Dame would be a good game to watch. Some of the Mountain West games are fun to watch. Just sit back and watch those, because a lot of craziness goes on with those. But yeah, unfortunately, we are gonna have to, unfortunately, we'll be able to do this year. So let's go ahead and talk about the next game coming up here, which is BYU. So BYU, like I said, they've been on a 5-game winning streak, looking to go, and we'll see. I think this week they play. Can't remember who they play, but they're going into a 5-game winning streak, and they're going to try to see if they can get it to 6. But they got players like Tyler Batty, who are just a diamond in the rough here. They're really good players there. Those are one of the guys we're going to have to watch out for here coming up in this next matchup here. See, you got pretty good power moves, as well as quickness, and of course he's a great run stopper there. So we'll definitely have to make sure we kind of avoid him and try to find ways we can, when we're running, rushing wise, we try to make sure we get away from him and make sure he doesn't get a hold of our halfbacks. L.J. Martin, halfback there, a sophomore, 3-star high school recruit from El Paso, Texas, 6'2", 225 pounds. He's a power back archetype there, and we'll see his skills for. He's of course a workhorse, downhill runner, pretty balanced. But we'll take a look at his numbers there. He got some pretty good hands there, so he can catch the football there if they need him to do so out of the backfield. But of course, his great quickness, looseness there, and of course, one of his downfalls is he's not a good route runner. Looks like he's a pretty good, decent short route runner, but because of medium or deep, he's not that great. So I'm looking forward to seeing him run the ball. I can see them using a lot of screens to get to him and get the ball to him if he's not able to run the ball too often right at us. There you see his looks like his left leg. He has got some wear and tear there, so we'll have to kind of try to wink wink, nudge nudge, kind of focus on that in the game. Ben Bywater, he is definitely a middle linebacker that I'm kind of nervous about. He's a field general, 3-star athlete from Salt Lake City, 6'3", 235 pounds. His numbers this season are pretty decent. He has some pretty good defensive numbers there, but he is definitely a guy that can lurk around the midfield there, or look around the middle of the field, and he always keeps a close eye on the quarterback. So he has good quickness for his size and for the position he plays. Run stopping is pretty good there. But like I said, he has a great IQ. Look at his awareness there, 87. Play rec is 87 as well. So he kind of knows what he's doing there on the field. And if the ball comes near him, there's a pretty good chance that he will get to it. Now, his zone and man coverage not the greatest. So passing wise, we can throw the ball around him. There you see he has a lot of wear and tear on his right side of his body. There, especially his right leg. So I would imagine they probably have him kind of limited playing time in the game coming up in this next matchup here with us, but we'll have to see. And then, of course, you got the wide receiver, Chase Roberts. He's archetype of route runner. 3-star young man from Highland, Utah, and we'll see what his numbers look like here. Elusiveness there at 85, with his quickness at 87. Route running there is pretty decent, not the greatest, but pretty a little above average route running. Pretty good hands. Of course, his IQ is pretty much the best that he has. So he knows what he's doing on the field. He knows what to do in the situations that he needs to do with the football there. So we'll definitely, I imagine they will be probably throwing to him. If I'm not mistaken, I think their key wide receiver, I think he's out. I think he has a torn, I forgot what it is, a torn shoulder or something like that. He's out for a couple of weeks now. So Chase Roberts is going to be the guy who they're probably going to be throwing to quite often in that game. So, and of course, he has not much wear and tear on him. So yeah, he'll be out there quite a bit. So this will probably be the guy that we'll have to focus on when it comes to their wide receivers. And of course, this is the guy who's going to be throwing the ball to him. Gary Bohannon, 6'3", 216 pounds, from Earl, Arkansas. He's a 4-star high school recruit. He's a senior redshirt, and there you see his numbers here. He's got pretty good accuracy when it comes to the medium, and it looks like medium and deep are pretty much his best. So he's going to be throwing midfield, maybe occasionally throwing down the field deep on us from time to time. He has got good power. When it comes to his power numbers, his throw power there is 93, so he's got good strength. So he can definitely chuck that ball when he needs to down the field, or of course throw bullet passes. So we're definitely, our linebackers going to be really aware of that, and of course our corners and safeties as well. Health is pretty good. Elusiveness is pretty good, and of course his quickness. He's not the best runner out there, but he can get himself out of trouble if he need be. So we'll definitely going to have to try to test him that. I don't want him to sit in the pocket too much. I want to make sure that if he is in the pocket there, we kind of flush him out. So that means guys like Barr, Bolden, and Woodford really need to, kind of pin their ears back and kind of go after him, and kind of make him in that pocket uncomfortable. We don't want to have him be too comfortable in that pocket. And of course, Micah Harper is the next player here. He's a free safety there. Of course, we've been having problems with interceptions, and of course, why not have to deal with a guy like him who's going to probably cause those problems even more so. So Micah Harper, there you see, he's got good quickness there, so he's going to definitely be flying around the field. His pass coverage not the greatest. I believe he's not that great at zone. No, he's 77 zone. Okay, it's man. So he's not good at man. So he'll definitely be flying around. And of course, he doesn't have great hands there, so that might be a plus there for us. He may not be able to catch the football there, but of course, if I say that, then it's going to be the opposite. So we definitely got to make sure we got to keep a watch where he's at on the field if we do happen to throw deep. I'm hoping that we can get to Parks more often in this game. I feel like there's a good mismatch in favor for us against their corners and their secondaries there. So we'll try to do our best to get to Parks as we can. If not, then of course we'll go to Good and to Finley for those chances there in the passing game. Our second string, or wide receiver number 2, and of course our tight end, starting tight end there for us. And then you see the injuries there for BYU there as well. So yeah, this and usually, if you think back from the original series, we usually do pretty well against BYU. We've had, I think, we've the rivalry's not as intensive like it was in the past years. One thing I would like to say, I would like to mention this, and if someone out there from EA is listening or watching, or if you know someone that's from EA, pass this off to them. But hopefully next year's game, if you have a creative, like a team builder team like this, hopefully you can implement like a team that you can make as your rival, because BYU will definitely be our rival, because in the past we had really good back and forth games with them. Usually we did excellent against them. I can think of one game we had a really bad game, but we came out of it. We still got the victory. So I'm assuming that in this case it might be the same thing. You know, we're a high scoring team. They're not so much. I think the most they've scored, I think this year is 24. No, I think it was 30. I think it was 31. So we can outscore them. I know we can. It's just going to take some time. And of course, obviously, we're going to have to run the ball quite a bit because that usually helps us out pretty much. If we can run the ball pretty well in the game, that usually helps us out with open up the playbook for the passing game. So, like I said, really got to be really good with the running game. And like I said, passing wise, we just got to take our time, find the right guys down the field. And if we get an opportunity for big plays, we got to take hold of it and do something with it. As for BYU, we just can't let their quarterback sit in the pocket for too long. We got to make sure we're on top of him like white on rice and make sure he does not get nice and comfy in that pocket. We got to really definitely blitz him. So I'm really hoping Bolden and Barr will come in there and and cause some havoc to their offensive line there, and of course in the backfield there. So let's see if we have a good game. Let's see if we can move this to now 7 in a row, as we're currently ranked right now 22nd after the bye week there. So that's nice. We're ranked in the top 20 for the first time this season. So let's see if we can try to run with this and hopefully get up nice. We already got a bowl. We're all eligible for a gold bowl game. But let's see if we can try to get ourselves eligible for our first time ever showing up in the 12-team playoff coming up here this season. So we'll see if we can do that. And of course, to do that, we gotta play some solid football here. Cannot be playing like we were especially last week here. In that Kansas game. So, but again, guys, if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe for more here on the channel. If you guys enjoy the series, leave a like, and of course, hit that bell notification so you guys be notified. Of course, check out all our content here on this channel, and of course on our second channel over on ESGNet plus LP, as we got a nice Road to Glory series over there on the second channel. But that's it for this today. Stay tuned for more here on the channel. As always, go Scotty Nation, and we'll see more of Highland Scotties coming up here very soon with the game against BYU. As always, Scotty Nation, keep yourselves healthy, and I will see you all next time.